Stop trying to get what you want, because that's exactly why you don't have it yet. You see, there's this ancient principle that every billionaire, philosopher, or anyone living their dream life understands but will not talk about directly. It sounds completely backwards when you first understand it, but when you get it, and I mean truly understand it, you will never chase anything again because you won't have to. And this wisdom is everywhere. It shows up in Hermetic texts thousands of years ago. And Neville Goddard based his teaching around it. You see, it's hidden in plain sight in almost every major wisdom tradition, but somehow 99% of people in the personal development space completely miss it, including me. For the longest time. You see, I've spent the last 2 years studying dozens of books on psychology, reality creation, energy work, and quantum physics. But it wasn't until recently that I was able to connect the dots between ancient wisdom and modern science to actually see results. I was able to help a friend of mine who's a full-time stock trader go from being stuck at a revenue ceiling of $4,000 per month to $8,000 in a single week. And the only thing that changed was his perspective and the principles that I'm about to share with you in this video. So if you want to know exactly what shifted for him and how you can apply this immediately, stick around. Chances are you're working hard on your goals. You're hustling, you're grinding, doing everything you're supposed to do. And maybe you even catch yourself saying things like, when I get there, I'll be happy. If that happens to me, my life will finally change. Or the classic, I'll believe it when I see it. But here's the problem. Those phrases reveal to me exactly why you're stuck. They show me your current state of being. And the truth is, your state of being is the single biggest predictor of your reality. Now, there was this mystic named Neville Goddard, and he spent decades studying this principle. And what he discovered will blow your mind. Neville taught that reality operates on what he called the law of assumption. And here's where it gets interesting. He didn't just theorize about this stuff. He had thousands of documented cases of people actually changing their lives. People would come to his lectures broke, depressed, and sick and walk away completely transformed. Not because they learned any new techniques, because they shifted the fundamental assumption of who they were. Neville would tell his students, stop trying to become something and start assuming you already are that something. Because life doesn't hand out what you want, it mirrors what you believe you are. And when you presume something, you're not hoping that it will happen, you're operating from the notion of it already being done. And this shift from wanting to assuming is exactly what shifted for my trader friend. He was stuck at a $4,000 ceiling because subconsciously he believed that's where he belonged. He wanted to hit greater numbers. He wanted to do better, but he didn't feel like he was worthy of it. He didn't feel the emotions that he would be feeling had he got there. So all he was doing was try to make more money instead of being someone who has more money. So the universe kept reflecting back to him how he saw himself as a $4,000 per month trader. And the moment he shifted that perspective of how he saw himself, he doubled his revenue. And this could be you. You could have a goal that you want to hit, but right now you're not assuming that you already have hit it. You're working externally rather than doing the work internally. You need to feel as if you were already there, and then it will come to you. Doesn't matter what type of goal this is. It could be a relationship, financial, career, fitness, does not matter. If you can feel like you were already there, you will make leaps of progress towards getting it. Most people are focusing in the gap consciousness. This pretty much means the distance between where they are and where they want to be. The more you internally distance yourself from your goals, the more you are externally distancing yourself from your goals. You need to feel as if you were closer than ever in order to be closer than ever. When your internal state is telling you that you are far away or that it's going to take time, you will experience a reality where that's true. Which brings me to the principle of this whole video. You can only have what you already have. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you want something and you want it so bad, you desire something, you are telling life that you are distant from that thing. Because if you had it, you wouldn't be feeling those emotions of desire and want because you already have it. You would be feeling content. You would be feeling calm. You would be feeling relaxed because you already have whatever it is you want. So what most people do is they go backwards. They distance themselves from their goal internally, and for that reason, 9 times out of 10 don't hit it. So if you want to get to where you want to go, you need to put yourself in the shoes of how you would feel, how you would act, and how you would think if you were in that reality right now. Because time is an illusion. It's a man-made concept as a point of reference, right? Without it, our society would probably collapse. We need time as a society, but the problem is that people have linked time to their ability to materialize things in their life. Time isn't distancing you from your goal. You're distancing you from your goal. And the universe will never give you anything. It's only going to give you what you are. So if you were telling it that you are not worthy, if you were telling it that you are unfit, if you were telling it that you're broke, you were going to just experience more of the things that you were telling it. And that's what Neville Goddard meant when he said, you get what you assume you are. So if time is an illusion, you need to ask yourself, how can I step into the version of me that's gonna have everything that I want? the physique, the money, the career, the relationship, whatever it is. Because when you step into that, you can think, feel, and act as that version of you would. You can start embodying that in little ways every single day until it becomes externally true. You must internally make it true before it's externally true. Too many people say, I'll believe it when I see it. And for that exact reason, they never see it. You need to believe it long before you ever see it. Exactly like my trader friend. He was trying to do more in order to get more revenue rather than saying, how would I think, feel, and act if I were already in the abundance of what I desire? So once he shifted his perspective to, I am naturally someone who generates 8K plus, it came to him. You see, within 1 week, reality had no choice but to catch up to his internal state. So now you might be like, okay, well, how do I actually apply this concept into my life? You know the principle, you know that it's been taught for a very long time. How can I apply this into my life to start seeing real results? Here's how. Step 1, your to-do list. You need a to-be list. 9 times out of 10, when people set out for a goal in whatever category of life, they think, what do I need to do to get there? Which is crucial. I'm not going to say it's not, but it is only an aspect of the whole equation. You need to ask yourself, who do I need to be in order to get to that result? How do I need to think, feel, and act if I already have whatever it is I'm setting out to achieve? Think about it. Let's say that you have a goal of becoming a CEO of a $10 million company. How would you think, feel, and act on a day-to-day basis knowing that you are the CEO of a $10 million company? You would go about acting in accordance and feeling confident, feeling abundant in all areas of life. You need to feel that right now. And that's what's going to draw you closer to it. Think of life like a radio. You got different stations and you need to tune the frequency in order to listen to that station. You have every single station that could tune you into your desired reality or an unwanted reality. You could have lack, poverty, scarcity, but you could also have abundance, love, and joy. All you need to do is tune in to the right frequency in order to hear what's playing on the radio. You need to take that concept and apply it to your life. How can I tune into the frequency of the life that I want to live? Embody that every single day. And that way you close that gap consciousness as much as possible because you are acting as that person right now. Which leads me to step 2. Stop working towards your goals and start working from them. A lot of people see their goals as something that is distant in the future, away from them. And that is exactly what separates them. So if you can close that gap as much as possible and look from them, how would I feel? How would I think? What goals would I then set after that? That's where you close the gap as much as possible. And that's what's going to allow you to step into that reality as quickly as possible and get to your goals. And this is important because it shapes what state you're doing things and operating from. Operate as if and it will be so. Step number 3. Your state creates your reality, so stay aware. Just like anything in life, this will be a journey. You're never going to hit a point where it's perfect all the time and you're at the highest level of energy, always living in accordance with how you should be. You need to understand and catch yourself out every time you slip into gap consciousness. Every single time you catch yourself saying, I don't have, you need to flip that to I am. If you catch yourself saying, I'm not fit yet, you need to tell yourself, I am fit. Your state is always operating, so keep aware of the thoughts that you tell yourself. Listen, this isn't some overnight trick that happens magically, but if you want to get to your goals and the desired reality in life, this is how. And this isn't just some positive thinking BS. This is changing the fundamental assumption of who you are. Because when you change how you see yourself, life will change how it sees you. If you apply these 3 steps towards building a life by design, you will see results. Now, some of you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. But remember, my friend didn't just think positive thoughts all day. He still took action, but it was from a state that supported his desired reality. So here's what I want you to do right now. Think of something that you've been trying to achieve. Ask yourself, who would I need to be to already have this? And drop your answer in the comments because I read every single one. But remember, you can only have what you already have. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want to dive deeper into the concept of self-mastery, I'll be dropping a link to my free newsletter in the description, so go check it out. But like always, when you master yourself, you master your life.